What's up guys, Tanner with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. And in this one, I'm going to be giving you guys some insight on how much you should be paying influencers on Instagram. So all of these prices are going to be based off of 3-hour shoutouts and theme pages. I don't use personal influencers, I use all theme pages just because it's a lot cheaper and more effective in my opinion, especially when testing multiple products at once. So let's go ahead and get in this video of showing you guys some prices and making sure you're getting the best deal. So let's get into it. So guys, when I'm going to buy from an influencer, I go through a 3-step process. I mean, it's pretty quick. And the first thing that I do is check their engagement. So there's this website called flanks.com, and I can show you guys how that works, where you just put in the Instagram username and it shows you guys the engagement rate. So usually when I'm looking for accounts, I try to target accounts at 2 to 5% or more engagement rate. But I mean, for me, I don't use that website. I personally just look at the likes and comments to the follower ratio because I've been doing this for a little while and I understand more of how it works. And I can tell which account has fake likes, fake followers, and stuff like that. So I'm able to sort of calculate in my own mind how much their engagement rate is. I don't know exactly. I just sort of do it in my head and make sure that just a substantial amount of engagement that I think I can get an effective amount of sales from. So that's how I check my engagement for these pages. And the second thing that I get into is just asking for the rates. So you DM them or you email them or whatever, you ask what their shout out rates are, and then they'll send you a list of different prices. But of course, we don't want to pay those. We want to negotiate lower and get the best deal possible. So I'm going to give you guys the basis of what I pay influencers for these certain amount of followers. And remember guys, all of these are going to be based off of 3-hour shoutouts, these prices that I have. Because for me, I like purchasing 3-hour shoutouts because I think it's a good time frame where you can buy from them. It stays up for a while, and then if you want to buy again, you can just buy again. Because if you leave it up longer than 3 hours, then honestly, it's just going to get buried in their audience's feed. Most of the time, that's the case because they post other shoutouts. So I think 3 hours is a good time where you can just buy from again after that 3 hours and refresh it onto that audience's page. So it's more higher up on the homepage for them. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get into these rates that I have. So if you're targeting an account that has under 100,000 followers, you're just trying to test some products with some smaller accounts, or you don't have much money to start up with, then you're targeting a smaller account. And if you want to target these smaller accounts and get a shout out from them, you need to make sure you're getting a good price. And honestly, these prices are going to be sort of cheap because it's a smaller account and usually the engagement isn't as good as these bigger accounts can be to the ratio wise. So these smaller accounts, for a 3-hour shout out, after you negotiate, you should end up at $25 or less. Just because that's a solid price for 3 hours. That's almost $10 an hour. And honestly, for under 100,000 followers, that's a good deal. Depending on their engagement ratio, you can get it cheaper. Some people might try to charge a lot more, but remember guys, you can negotiate. I've talked about some negotiation tactics in the past on some of my other videos, so if you want to know how to do that, then go to my previous videos. But anyways guys, under 100,000 followers, you should be getting the price of $25 or less for a 3-hour post. So that's for 100,000 followers. So now let's go into the next one. 100 to 300,000 followers, you should be paying $40 or less for a 3-hour post after negotiation. So they're not going to charge you that price, but that's what you can negotiate down to, just based off their engagement and how good their page is, what kind of content they're posting that's relatable to the content that you have on your website, that the products you're trying to sell. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, but honestly for these pages, you should be able to get this solid rate of $40 for 3 hours. And now for 300 to 700,000 followers, I would say $50 or less for a 3-hour post. That's a pretty good deal. Remember, negotiate. And now 700,000 to 1 million followers, you should be paying about $70 or less for 3 hours. And from an account from 1 million to 3 million followers, you should be paying about $80 or less for a 3-hour post. And then for any accounts that are 3 million followers to 6 million followers, I've averaged about $120 or less after negotiation for a 3-hour post. And now the last section that I want to talk about is 6 million followers to 12 million followers. You should be paying about $220 or less for 3 hours. So that's after negotiation, remember. But honestly, I target a lot of big accounts from 6 million to 12 million followers that are theme pages on Instagram. And I've came to the conclusion that the average of most of them is around $220 for 3 hours. And honestly, that's a solid rate. A lot of people will try to charge a lot more than that. But honestly, that's what you can really negotiate down to and get the best deal and get the most effective sales. So those are the prices that I've based off of testing with these multiple different follower counts and seeing how much they charge and how much I can negotiate down to. These are the averages that I've concluded with, and they seem to be solid rates that are good deals and what you can negotiate down with. Some people won't accept these rates, but a lot of people will. Just based on me testing with different pages and influencers and seeing how they work and trying to get the best deal. So guys, always remember when you're buying from influencers, you need to make sure their engagement is good. That's the main factor of all of this. I mean, the money's important and making sure you're getting the right ad content up, but it's honestly all engagement. If you're buying from a page for 40 bucks for 3 hours on a smaller account, and then you post it and it only got 20 likes, and this account has 200,000 followers, then honestly that's your fault. You didn't check the engagement on the page, you didn't see their follower to like ratio and how good their page is doing, if they're staying consistent with the post, if they're being engaged with the followers and making sure they're responding to comments and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of factors go into these different pages to see what's active and what's not. But honestly, after a while of testing with different influencers and just paying attention, honestly, you'll be able to figure out their engagement without actually looking at that website, flanks.com. But that's a good website if you're not sure how to check the engagement, if you want to see their engagement rate. And remember, 2 to 5% is the average. I've seen what's pretty good. But honestly, anything above that, it could be fake likes or it could just be really good engagement. You can honestly gauge it by looking at the likes to the comment ratio if there's a lot of people tagging accounts. But if you see a lot of comments that are posting just the same kind of comment, then really you can tell that it's not very active and it's just sort of like a bot kind of thing. But anyways guys, those are the influencer rates that I've concluded to over the past year or so, just testing with different pages. But anyways guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.